Good morning, Oracles. Well, another wonderful 7% drop in Tesla yesterday. I gotta tell you, going down to 628 and closing there, not pretty. We're not looking good. We're on a downward trend for sure. How much further down can we go? I don't know. We have lots of talks about, $500, $600, $420, $100. Who knows how far we can fall? So one of the things I like to do is take a step back and ask myself, all right, obviously this could be emotional for people who have their money in the stock market, watching their portfolios just completely dissipate. What do you do? Well, I ask myself, what is the worst case scenario? Well, worst case obviously is the stock goes down to zero and we lose all of our money. That would suck. But realistically, what could the worst case scenario be? Some of you on the comments are saying $100 is where we can get down to. Don't know if we will get that low, but looking at a lot of stocks right now going down to pandemic lows, not just like pre-pandemic lows, pandemic lows. When COVID crash first hit, many stocks are getting back down there. Well, Tesla happened to get down to 130 during that time. So ask yourself now, take a step back, take your emotions out of this, and ask logically, if my portfolio fell as much as it would if Tesla stock fell down to 130, how would I feel about that? And just objectively ask yourself about your emotions and say, okay, what would be the worst case scenario if that happened? Okay, my portfolio would look absolutely atrocious. Yes, it would. But ask yourself what you think would happen afterwards. Okay, let's say 130 is the bottom. Then obviously from there, we would come back up. So you can dollar cost average and plan for that. I always like to plan for the worst and hope for the best. This is why I balance my strategy of dollar cost averaging, but also banking more cash on the side just in case that worst does happen. So if we do fall down to $130, guess what? I've got a large sum of cash that I can dump into the stock. And sure, my dollar cost average and my cost basis is going to be significantly higher than those of you who are really just trying to time it and saying, you know what, you believe it is going to come down that far and that's what you're waiting for. I'm not going to beat you guys. I'm not trying to. I'm trying to get the best dollar cost average with the information that I have now. You can look back in hindsight, 2020, you're always going to be right. Take a look in a year from now. Put yourself 1 year out from now and ask yourself, if I look back in a year from now, what do I think I would have done in the stock market at that time? Personally, I think a year from now, the stock is going to be doing significantly better than we are right now. So I'm going to dollar cost average accordingly because I think we will be ahead of where we are then. Now, if we do pull back further, I will add more, which will then bring my cost basis down, meaning that my projections for next year are going to net me even bigger profits. So either way I win. I won't win as much as those of you who have saved that cash to invest when we hit those lows, but I will still be a winner. And I don't want to compete against you guys. I'm competing against myself and my own investments for the future. That's why I'm playing it the way I do. Because on the other side of the coin, what if over the next 2 days we hit a bottom? Maybe $600 is the bottom. Nobody knows for sure. Many of you are out there that are confident that it will be lower than that, but nobody knows for sure. So let's say, for instance, 600 ends up being the bottom. For those of you who are holding cash waiting for it to go down to 130 and it never gets there, now you're waiting even longer, and maybe by the time you do pull the trigger on the stock, if you decide to pull the trigger on the stock, maybe it's $800 that you buy in. So not saying that anybody's going to be right or wrong, but by doing it the way I am doing it, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not saying you should do it this way. But for me, the reason I play it the way I am is for my own personal emotions and comfort, because I know either way I am going to win because I believe the stock is going to be higher next year than it is right now. And I like to use historical data as a way for me to guide myself for my decisions in the future. Historically, regardless of what crappy situations we have gone through, we have always recovered as an economy and as a market. So if there's any of you out there who think that our economy is not going to recover, then obviously this will not pertain to you because you think everything is collapsing. And you're totally entitled to that right and opinion, so by all means have that out there, that's fine. But for me, I don't think that's going to happen. So I believe that we are going to get through this. I believe that we are going to come out stronger. It's just a matter of when and how quickly. Nobody can predict that until it actually happens. But historically, we have always recovered. So this is why I am confident that we are going to come out stronger, and I'm okay with dollar cost averaging now because history has told me that is what's going to happen. And when you look at stocks like Amazon, who did very well during the dot-com bubble, then crashed down 90%, took 8 years before they finally came back, and then ended up being a 15x from their dot-com highs 18 years later, and then significantly higher to the day today. You know, you look at something like that, you realize that, yes, there are going to be winners coming out of this. And those innovative, disruptive plays are the ones that are going to usually thrive the most. Tesla is going to be my top pick for that disruptive, innovative play coming out of this situation we're in right now. And when we talk about how low the stock can go, a lot of times we could be creating our own self-fulfilling prophecy. So many of us, when we dipped under 1,000, we're all like, woohoo, buying under 1,000 is a great deal. And then we were all like, woohoo, buying under $900 is a great deal. I still believe that, but the further we keep coming down, the more people are like, you know what? Maybe I'm going to put the brakes on buying so much right now. I'm going to dollar cost average a little bit less. I'm one of them. And then we're like, all right, well, now I've, conceded to, I'm okay if the stock drops to 600. I'm okay if it drops to 500. I'm okay if it drops to 400. The more we get like that, the more we self-fulfill this prophecy of the stock continuing to come down. Now again, for all of us out there who are believing that the stock is going to do extremely well in the future, and even 10x from the prices we're at right now in the next 10 years, if we think that's going to happen and the stock price comes down even more, then it's a 12x, a 15x, a 20x. So it's like we're kind of in this point where we're hoping that it comes down so we can multiply our money even more. So we're not buying as much, which is what's causing the stock to drop even further, because while many people and retailers are still adding, we're just not adding as much. And institutions are not adding, which means it's dropping further and further down. So we're fulfilling our own prophecy, we're creating this whole downward trend ourselves, but then you have to remember that if institutions and the big money aren't buying in, and retail is buying in less and less, when they do actually start dumping their money into the stock again, it's going to take off and go up that much faster. So yes, our self-fulfilling prophecy is bringing us down further, but we will still in turn be able to multiply our money that much more because of all this. It's a tight, tangled weave that we're in right now, but I think it's going to be a great one for the future. And I still believe, looking back 1, 2, 3, 5 years from now, these times right now are going to be the times that we wish we added more to our Tesla in our portfolio. And one of the lessons I have learned over the last decade for myself personally, when it comes to getting my emotions out of everything in life, whatever it is, the more I paid attention to the news and really dialed in on everything that was going on, the more it affected me. If I really paid attention to all the economics in the world and all the negativity that was out there and watched the news every single day, I really got drawn in and sucked into it. And then I got divorced and I didn't have cable. I never watched TV. I didn't have internet, so I couldn't even go on the internet to see what's going on social media. I was completely off the grid. And you know what I realized? I realized that all the crap that I was paying attention to on the news truly didn't affect my life whatsoever. I still kept on going on, living my life as it was. Now, yes, a lot of the incidents that are going on out there could affect individuals. So if these times right now are really affecting you and it's pulling you down emotionally, I encourage you to step away. Just stop paying attention. Like, I love you guys watching my channel here, but if it's going to help you emotionally to get out of this, stop watching. Just don't do it and get yourself out of it. Focus on the important things in life. Family, friends, your job, whatever else is going on in your life right now, just do those things. And it will really help you take your emotions out, and all this BS that's going on right now is going to continue going on whether you're paying attention to it or not. But eventually we'll come out of it and you'll be better on the other side. So this is why a lot of times people say sometimes the best thing you can do is nothing. Forget it. Maybe set a dollar cost average or recurring investment in your portfolio and then walk away. Walk away and stop paying attention to it. And then when somebody comes up to you and says, "Oh my gosh, did you see that Tesla hit all-time highs in their stock price?" Then you could be like, now is the time I'm going to go back and start paying attention again. So just my 2 cents from my own experiences of what I have gone through in life. So if you're going through these tough times, I encourage you just step away, because the world is going to go on. You can do perfectly fine without paying attention to all the junk that's going on right now in the world. Just do your thing, step away from it, and focus on the little things that are important in your life. So let me know in the comments below, how would you feel if Tesla did drop down to $130? How would you react to it? And also let me know where you think the stock price will be 12 months from now. My price target for the end of the year is $12.67, and just a little bit north of that come 12 months from now. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support and feedback. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. I share all the latest Tesla news, pertinent stock market information, and all of my daily trades. Thank you so much. Have a great one.